Hey, good evening, guys. This is Adam with Adam and Rano's Play It Safe with us. Going to go over, try to do this as quickly as possible. There's quite a lot to cover here. I want to say two things really quickly. The first thing being, my my dog had just had puppies last week, so if you hear any crying in the background, I have the puppies in the office. So the other thing that I've just been kind of out of the market for a while. I had some family issues. I had to travel down south. But anyways, I'm back. And without any further ado, I want to get into the three scenarios on Bitcoin. And, you know, as you guys know, all the altcoins follow Bitcoin. So take a look at that. I actually will start doing altcoins at some point. I know I keep saying that, but I'm going to try to do some tonight if I have time. I'm going to make time. I'm going to do some altcoins. But anyways, what we have here, same count, running count, nothing's changed. This is the triangle for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, which I've covered this so many times. I'm just going to zoom out here. This would be WXY to end the entire bear market down here. So this would actually, this 5-wave impulsive move down would actually be the basically the C of, I'm sorry, the 5 of the C of the Y. And that should do it for us, you know, for quite a while. If we are going to break lower than this, it's going to be extremely difficult to break lower than this. I mean, so many people are just not going to care, and they're going to buy and hold. And, you know, if we're going to break through here, it's going to take a tremendous amount of time, in my opinion. There's all kinds of algo targets here. This area will be well defended, is what I'm trying to say here. We also have this trend line, which is years old. I'm not going to go back right now, but it's at least 3 or 4 years old that I've drawn at about 2,400. So I expect this to hold. If not, we might get a fake out wick through, bounce back up, reclaim it. But basically, this is the triangle here that's been running for about 3 months now, and you know, this is very typical of a triangle. It just to take forever and to be very boring. And although this is not that boring, I mean, there's a lot of volatility in here, a lot of bots liquidating everybody. You know, just stop hunting, liquidation hunting. People are over leverage trading, which creates this massive pump dump over and over again. These wicks, call it wickery. But basically that's what we have. If this is going to play out, I expect this move to run back up to around 4,000. This is on Coinbase, possibly break above 4,000 slightly, but not take out this high. If we take out this high up here at 41.92 on Coinbase, then this whole triangle is invalid. In fact, one of the things I do want to point out is, yet again, this triangle would be a bearish triangle, as it would be wave 4 of 5 going down. So like I said before, it's not that I'm bullish or bearish. It's just that with this triangle, if you're viewing this triangle, it has to be a bearish triangle. There's no other way it can be a bullish triangle from the Elliott perspective. Now, one of the things I do not like when it comes to that is this triangle looks, you know, and I've covered this also, it's an ascending triangle. If you look at this, I mean, you can call it symmetrical, but just like we had the descending triangle at 6,000 area where everybody was, oh, we're never going to break 6,000. 6,000 is the bear graveyard and blah, 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 blah. I mean, blatant descending triangle. It was almost guaranteed that we were going to drop to around 33, 34, 3,500. In fact, we basically completed the entire triangle target at 31, 39. So Now, if you look at this, this is the exact opposite here. This is an ascending triangle, and this is actually a bullish formation. You know, so this indicates, even though we are putting in lower highs, I mean, the higher lows are substantially higher than the lower highs are lower, if that makes any sense, which makes this triangle more of an ascending triangle. So the target, and I know I'm getting off topic here because I'm covering this from an Elliott perspective, which would make this a symmetrical bearish triangle. But just really quickly to give you guys a target on this ascending triangle, we would be looking for, if we, you know, in fact do break out to the upside, we are looking at a breakout to about right here, which is between 5,000 and 5280, which corresponds nicely to this initial, I call this the degenerate buy here, when, you know, we're just dropping down and traders will come in and over leverage themselves and try to make a quick buck. You know, but there was no support here. There was no reason to buy this area, and that's why all of us, you know, the technical analysis people, we're all saying that once 5,700 breaks, it's all over. There is nothing. There is no support. People were saying, oh, 5,000, 4,500, 4,000. No, there was no support here, and you can see it very clearly on this void here of volume, which I've covered several times. So, but anyways, that's what, if this triangle is going to play out, you know, we're still chugging along here. I expect we should put in a top up here shortly in the next couple of days or so, around 4,000, possibly break 4,000, 4,100, fake everyone out, come back down, test the bottom of the trend line, and then fake everyone out again. And this would be your failure leg, the E, coming down again. You know, I've covered this triangle scenario so many times, and I will cover again, this is one other piece of evidence that I do not like when it comes to this triangle, because we've taken so long now, if this is in fact a triangle, we've taken so long now that if this is going to play out as a triangle, we have to break this trend line now. If we are in fact going to, you know, kind of play this sideways triangle fuckery game here. And my problem with that is I do not see, again, this trend line breaking without a massive move to the upside to, again, fill in this volume void here and a run to about 5,200. You know, shit could go to 6,000. I doubt it, but it is possible. But, you know, I don't see it, because you have one touch, two touches, and again, the majority of the time, a support and a resistance will break down on the third touch. So this would be the third touch of this resistance here. And this resistance is now almost an entire year old at around 10,000. So anytime long-term supports and resistances are broken, the bigger the move is. So, and the less likely you are to have a fake out. In fact, I don't think there can be a fake out above this trend line. I think that we're just going to go up extremely quickly. There's not much resistance, but that's basically that count. Now I'm going to go to another scenario here. Get to my chart. Which one is it? I think I did this on Finex. Yeah. All right. This would be, I'll blow this up for you guys so you can see it. This would be the most bearish scenario here. We have the bearish, the bigger bearish, and the possibly bullish. But this would be the bearish, the most bearish scenario, which is in fact that we have put in a flat correction, ABC. This ABC correction is over. This is the fourth wave coming down for the 5-wave impulsive move for the 5, which is in fact the same larger degree count as the triangle. It's just we're going to play out differently in this count. Now, interestingly enough, we're looking for about the same targets. You know, we're putting, this was the 1, and the evidence that supports this is, look at this volume here. Massive, massive sell-off. This looks to me to be impulsive, and that is further evidence that this whole area in here, this pump up here, was corrective, and that this here is in fact impulsive. So this would be, in this count, this would be the 1 of 5 down, and we are now putting in an ABC for the second, the 2 wave. And this, I mean, we would most likely have an extension in one of these waves, but this, although this is bearish, it's not that bearish. Yes, it has us putting in new lows somewhere in here. I mean, we very likely get an extension here, but basically this right now is the extreme bearish scenario that's going on. So interestingly enough, I mean, both counts are pretty much looking at the same target up here. And if I take the swing high, swing low here, and I talk about this all the time. Let me extend this out for you guys so you can see it. Get this right on here, and I actually have this up here. You can see that we have the golden zone here, the 618 to the 65 retracement, which is what all the bots and all the algo software are programmed to buy and sell. If we cannot break above this, then all the algos will remain short and will just hold their shorts. So basically, I do look for a test of this area here. You can see we're rejecting the 50, which is not a good sign, because the majority of wave 2s, in fact, 70% of them statistically will finish between the 38% retracement and the 61% retracement of the entire one. So there's a 70% chance that if we do not break above this 50, that this count is indeed valid, and we are in fact going down for a very big drop here. But I expect this to play out, and the reason why that is because I've gone through the subwaves here, and I don't think we're done yet here. So that's basically this count. The final count, and again, what I also like about this count is that it lines up more with the bigger picture, and the bigger picture has this trend line not being touched again, the trend line from the other chart that I had. And that to me makes more sense. Like I said, I don't think we can touch that trend line and not break out to the upside and fill in the volume void up here. I don't see that. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. So that's basically that. So we're looking for, a top up here at around, same thing, 4,000 to 4,100. Now, mind you, this is Bitfinex. So, the price of Bitfinex is very different from every other exchange ever since that whole Tether FUD pump garbage. So, that's basically that. Now, the bullish count, or the least bearish of all the counts, is in fact that we have this move. I've covered this forever. I've been saying this for 3.5 months now, since December, that this is a strong possibility here. But I will say, the longer this goes on, I think the less likely that is. But basically, you would have this C finishing much higher. And in fact, all we're doing now is we are putting in the 1. We're coming down for the 2. I don't think we retrace this shallow, although it is possible. Coming down for a 2 before we blast off here, 3, 4, 5, etc., somewhere up in this area. Now, interestingly enough, the piece of evidence that supports this count is, from a statistical point of view, for this to be an ABC, this has to be wave 4. There's no other wave it could be. I mean, within reason. I mean, you know, sometimes when you're dealing with Elliott, you can kind of see what you want to see. But now the reason I bring this up, that this there is evidence here to support that we are not done, is that I have this as 1, 2, right? So if this is 1, 2, this is the entire length of the third wave, right? Okay. Now crypto's a little bit different, but there's a 70% probability that wave 4 will retrace between 38% and 618 of the entire wave 3. Now, if you look at this, we haven't even we barely broke the 23, the 236 retracement, and the 382, and this is very typical of Bitcoin, especially, is right here. So if you're a bear and you're looking at the larger macro level, the macro analysis here, look at all this room for you to get absolutely annihilated. 4,800 from where we are now is, almost $1,000 move on a $4,000 commodity. That's about 20%, 25%, or something like that. So there is evidence here. And, we can also, we can come up here. There's nothing that says we can't come up here for wave 4. Now, just to put this into perspective, there's only statistically speaking, there's only a 15% chance that wave 4 only retraces between the 236 and the 38. So statistics are on your side, generally speaking, for this to be, if this is an ABC, to finish much higher. So, that's that. Now, basically, the reason I'm covering all this, and, anybody can say, well, gee, you're telling me it can go up or down. Thanks. You're really not helping me. The reason, the difference between, people that think like that and full-time traders or even swing traders is, our job is not to predict up or down. Our job is to identify the important levels and the levels of invalidation. And for me, if we break this high right here, and I've said this many times, if we break this high right here, now granted, we're going to need to break this high, but if we break this high, I think the chances are about 80% that we're going about 4,800. So now, how can you make money that way? For the people that like to say, well, gee, up or down. Well, if we break this, if you enter a long trade, you are looking at minimum about 10% profit, a little more actually. So if you combine that with leverage, if you 5 times that, that's 50%. It's you invest $100,000, you just made 50 grand. So up or down, doesn't matter. Now, likewise, if we cannot break this pivot up here, this high, you're looking to short, and your targets are minimum about 3,600, 3,500. So do the math on that. But for me, this is bullish. Anything up here above, we'll call it 40. I'm going to call it 4280 on Bitfinex. Now on Coinbase, it's going to be about 4,200, 4,280 or something, 4,250. But to me, that's bullish. That for me is time to enter a bullish position. And anything, basically, I'm leaning bearish. I am leaning bearish. This to me looks more bearish. So I will be entering a short position up in this area. Anything above 4,000 to 4,100, I'm going to be entering short. My stop loss is going to be right at this pivot up here, just to give it a little more room. So, you know, that's that. We'll see what happens. Again, we again have this trend line, and I'll draw it really quickly again. Let's see here. Okay, draw this really quickly. Where is it? It's here. I don't care about the tether wickery. That gets chopped right out of my trend line. This to me is meaningless up here. That's what this was, that tether FUD garbage, where people decided to pump the price and, you know, create a big short squeeze before the massive dump. So, you know, this trend line to me, I do not care. I don't care what's going on. I will be longing any break of this trend line with volume. Forget it. I'm in. I'm bullish. You know, I don't care. I'll be looking at a target between 4,800 and 5,400. So, you know, that's about that. Now, I will update you guys when we get more clarity here and more resolution to see what's going on. But I just wanted to give you a quick update. I've been a little bit missing in action for a little while. I do want to apologize for making the video long, but I don't want to take away from the content by making the video shorter, you know. So, you know, I mean, you guys can fast forward through stuff or whatever, but anyway, guys, if you like the content, like, subscribe. I also want to give Rado a shout out. He's been working with me on all these counts all the time. You guys already know. He's constantly updating in the Telegram. You know, he's just 24/7. He's on top of the market. So, you know, but like I said, like, subscribe, share, you know, invite some people, let me know opinions, you know, input is always welcome and respected. And I hope you guys have a good night. Stay safe out there. Do not over leverage this bot garbage that's going on, this pump dump, pump dump, pump dump. Stay you know, stay composed and do not over leverage and have your stop losses, and you know, don't get wrapped up in all this garbage pump dump crap. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna do some altcoins tonight. Definitely I'm gonna do some Litecoin. I'm gonna try to do some Tron. Definitely want to do some Ethereum. I'm working on something with that. So anyway, guys, take care and safe trading. Thanks for watching.